looks the way it does, right? But now we're going to go back and we're going to have a little bit of a reminder, okay, about why our government looks the way it does, right? Why we do things this way, right? So we're going to use this word, right? The foundations. Okay? What is foundation? I'm kind of bummed that Jonathan isn't with us anymore.
I know.
Yeah. Okay? When we talk about foundation, right? What does that mean? Foundation. Not makeup. We're not talking about the makeup.
That's true. It is part of makeup. And when you put your foundation on, sorry, I don't know, you guys don't put on makeup, but when you put on foundation, do you put it on first or last? You put it on first, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because that supports the rest of your makeup, right? So there you go. That's a good answer.
Right? So foundations, right, we're talking about the base. We're talking about what everything is on, right? Okay, the support, right? So we have these ideas. This is why the government looks like this, right? These are the ideas, right, that support, right, the idea of our government, right?
So like when you build a house, right? You don't just look on the ground and then say, "Here's my house," right? Whenever, I don't know if you guys have ever seen a house being built, but first they have to put a foundation, right, on the ground. Do you guys know that?
I know.
Okay, so this is not talking about a foundation for a house, and not about foundation for makeup, but this is a foundation for the United States government. So it's what allows us to do everything else that we do for government.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I keep forgetting.
Okay, so one of the things that we're going to talk about is the Bill of Rights. Okay, so the essential question, what we want you to keep in mind as I'm going through this, right, is this idea, why? Why do you think it's important that a Bill of Rights was added to the Constitution? Okay, so we've talked about the Constitution in terms of it setting up the 3 branches of government. Yes? Okay. But in the warm-up this morning, Mr. C talked about rights. Mr. C talked about freedom of speech and freedom of religion, right? Yeah, and the freedom to own a gun. Is any of that in the Constitution?
Yeah.
It is?
No.
It wasn't at first. Today it is, right? Today we consider it, right? But when they first wrote the Constitution, those things weren't in the Constitution, right? We needed, right? We needed to add, right, a Bill of Rights to the Constitution. Why? Why did we need to do that? That's what I want you guys to think about. Yes, we're going to go back and we'll answer that question, okay?
So, why do we need the Bill of Rights? Just think about it. We don't know yet, but we're going to find out. Hush.
All right. So many people and ideas have influenced the Constitution. So influenced, we've talked about this. Okay. Mr. C asked you a warm-up question a while back about this idea of influence, right? So this is, right, to give ideas or inspiration, right? Okay. To give ideas or inspiration, right? Mr. Harmon, right? Mr. Harmon has definitely influenced the way I teach. Mr. Harmon has influenced the way I teach. He's given me ideas and he's given me inspiration. Okay? Okay? He has said, hey, what if we do it this way? You know what? That's a really good idea, Mr. Harmon. Let's do it that way instead. That's probably a better way of doing it. Right? So many people and ideas influenced, gave ideas or inspiration. to the writers of the U.S. Constitution. Okay? They did not just roll out of bed and say, let's do it this way. Right? They read a whole bunch of books, they listened to people, right? They got they got a lot of influence, right? So influence is they gave ideas, yeah? Or inspiration. Yes? Okay. And it says to review the timeline. We're going to do that at the end, actually. Okay. But I put it together on a timeline at the end. So I'm going to wait to do that part. What's wrong? Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Let's write this down in that blank space in the box. Let's write down this word. Influenced. Mm-hmm. Ideas. Mm-hmm. Say it again. Oh, review. Review. Re means again.
Reheat. If you're reheating something, you're heating it again.
And view means look. So to review something means to look at something again. Because they think, the people who wrote this government lesson, think that, just assume that everybody already knows what we're about to show you. But even Mr. Harmon doesn't know all this stuff, so it's all right. Oops. Sorry, Mr. Video Camera. That's all right. Okay, yeah, we'll take that part out.
I'm done.
All right, we're all good?
Oh.
Careful.
No.
Oh, you be careful. Seriously, be careful leaning back. I don't want you to.
All right, so see if you remember this part. See if you remember this part real quick, right? This is going to be a review, okay? All right, so whose idea was it first? That people should have power. That power shouldn't belong all to the government. Do you remember where that came from first? It's okay if you don't. Don't worry about it, right? Remember we talked about the Magna Carta, the English Petition of Rights, right? This idea that the king didn't have all the power, right? That the people had power, that the people had rights, okay? That there should be branches of government. You guys remember that guy? Begins with an M. Okay, don't worry about it. It's the English Bill of Rights and Montesquieu. Okay, this idea that there should be separation of power. Not all power should belong to one person, right? And that people have rights. This is the English Bill of Rights. Okay, the idea again that the king doesn't have all the power. The power belongs to the people. Yeah. Don't worry about it if you don't remember those parts yet. That's fine.
But one thing that's good to remember is that all of our ideas for our American government come from, let's see if you can guess which country it comes from. What? Yeah. Do we have a country called English?
No.
But do we have, say it again?
England.
Yes, Tasby. Yes, Tasby's in the house, right? So all of our ideas, many of our ideas, not all of them, but a lot of them come from the country of England.
England?
Yeah. Yeah. So right, Inglaterra, right?
Inglaterra.
Yeah. So England gives us a lot of our ideas about government because, do you remember who controlled America before America became the United States?
Oh, England.
Yes, ma'am. England. So, because England was in charge of the United States, that means that a lot of our ideas come from this country,
So
come from
who is
England.
stronger now?
Who is stronger, England or the United States? They're both very powerful countries. At some different times in our history, England has been very powerful, and we've been very powerful. But now both countries pretty powerful.
What's the richest?
So I would say the United States has more people. There are far more people living in the United States. And there's a lot more money in the United States. The United States has a lot more money than England has. So in those ideas, the United States